Hi there, welcome to Good Sithkeeping. Today I'm going to be experimenting with my hair again. I have used Overtone hair conditioner before for coloring my hair, but I've never done it with a split dye before, and I've never used these two colors before. So here I am just kind of showing you the base color that I have to work with. You can see that the top color is really yellow orangey, and that bottom end's color is still a lot of green blue. I think this experiment will be really good to show how the Overtone product works over different toned bases. Um, you can also see that I have a few little leopard spots there from the last time I tried to bleach. Um, Not awesome. Luckily, it's kind of hidden in the back of my head, so usually people wouldn't see that. I have no idea why it took me so much deliberation to decide if I wanted to do pink on one side or the other, or orange on one side or the other. Um, Ultimately, I went with this, but I really have never actually used that orange before or this pastel pink, so I wasn't sure what to expect. I was kind of thinking that the orange would take really well on this top root area that's already kind of orangey, but I wasn't sure if the pink would end up looking kind of peachy. So it was a really fun experiment, and I was really hoping that the pink would actually kind of neutralize that green blue on the ends. I wasn't sure if I was going to get, one solid color from root to tip, or if I was going to have the same sort of banding that was happening before the color. So, I mean, even still, the product is so nice to work with, and you can really kind of see instantaneous results. I mean, it's still better to leave it in, obviously, but as I go through, you can kind of see that the color of the hair is changing really quickly as I'm applying the product. I want to point out about here, in terms of tips and tricks, I probably did not need to apply that pink barrier on the other side at this stage. It turned out that I was able to keep the hair separated pretty well, and there was really no need for one side to like protect itself from getting orange on it. And so if you're doing this at home, you don't necessarily need to do this unless you're doing a lot of sections that are close together and rubbing up against each other. I think for me, this ended up being a little bit of a detriment because later you'll see that that pink was sitting there for a while, so it maybe took a little better than the rest of the pink that I applied later. So I don't know. I mean, either way, I think the color applies very well, so I don't think it's that big of a deal. Just kind of a note that it was an unnecessary step here. You can see this first half is fully saturated and very well coated. You can also see that the ends are a different color than the roots so far. There's still that kind of greenish tone to it. So we'll see at the end if you get kind of more consistent color. This was also a good chance to show how much of the product I had to use. I obviously have long hair, and I definitely would not have been able to do all of my hair with just one tub. So it worked out that I was doing the split dye because then I had two tubs to work from and a little bit of leftovers in each. It's also worth mentioning that it took about 20 minutes for me to apply each side. So I think all told it was around 45 minutes for me to do all of my hair. Really, the most time consuming part is just making sure that you really get the product into your hair, rub it in really well so you don't have any bare spots, get the hair nice and saturated. That way you can get that color all the way through. Um, you can see already just in these first couple of bits that the bottom half of my hair is turning more of a purpley color, like a lavender, and I think that's because there's still that blue base in the green, and the pink is kind of neutralizing the green on this side. So it looks really pretty, at least in these pictures so far. The final product I don't know that you can see it quite as well, but we'll compare it when we get there. I think this video will be really good for people who are looking to maybe change the tone of their hair as well, because you can see that there's a really quick effect with this. However, this is a very temporary color. So you'll see at the end of the video, I will show kind of the before and after each wash, how much fading I have, and whether or not that actually cures the green-blue tone issues that I have. The reality is, I have been coloring my hair for a very long time, and I have done a lot of different colors. Usually I stick to shades of kind of purples and blues, and sometimes pinks, but when you color your hair as much as I do, you're bound to have some kind of stained, toned colors like this green blue on the ends. And I think that that's very common for people who color their hair fantasy colors as much as I do. At this point in my hair life, I am really just working with what I've got. I'm not trying to spend a lot of time doing color correction, especially because most of the colors I do are fairly temporary, and I'm not looking to go platinum or silver, so I can just sort of use different colors to get different effects and not really stress over those weird green tones. And with that, the hair is fully saturated. You can kind of already see the difference between the roots and the ends. And all told, it took about 45 minutes for me to do all of my hair. I think I left the color on my hair for about half an hour, 45 minutes, and I did not rinse it out with shampoo. So this is what it looked like after I rinsed it with just normal warm water and blow dry it to get it nice and dry. You can see the split dye kind of right down the middle there. I love this pink with this orange. It turned out so nicely, and those ends are not nearly as discolored as I thought they were going to be. For me, you can kind of see at the roots where it was left on a lot longer, so there's a lot more color saturation right there, but otherwise the color is pretty consistent all over, and I think it turned out really, really well. Overall, I had no idea that I was going to love doing a split dye hair color as much as I did. The way that it sort of overlays, you know, the pink laying down on the orange side or the orange laying down on the pink side, it just looks so cool together, like a delicious rainbow sherbet, and this is one of my favorite colors so far. I think maybe I say that about every hair color. However, I really mean it. This one is one of my favorites. So if you wanted to see how well the Overtone product worked, especially these pastel colors, this is a great way to really show what they look like over the different tones. The rest of the video is just going to be showing how the color fades over time. This one is over 2 washes, and you can see that it is faded quite a bit. I do use a sulfate-free shampoo, so that's just the nature of using a product that is not meant to be a permanent hair color and just kind of a fun temporary color. I still absolutely love these pastel tones. You can see those roots are still quite a bit darker, and again, I think that's where I left the color on a lot longer. Please keep watching the rest of the video to see how the color continues to fade over time. And if you like these types of videos, please let me know in the comments below, and like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much, and have a great day.